Japanese language mentor has been a great help in my Japanese language journey. I was a little unsure of what to study or what to do next, and it's fun. Like it's more fun when you're talking to someone instead of just, you know, grinding flashcards or kanji. I really look forward to the lessons. He does a great job of telling you what's important when you're trying to learn conversational Japanese, and it's definitely helped me stay motivated when I'm studying, and I highly recommend it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. My name is JD. はじめまして、JD です。よろしくお願いします。I go by Japanese Language Mentor. That's the name of the channel. That's the name of my business. I teach Japanese online. Basically, I really love to teach Japanese. It's my passion, and so I'm trying to make a channel that's all about that, and just trying to help, people learning at home, people learning abroad in whatever way I can. Hopefully providing a new perspective about how to learn. It's different to talk about, it's different to learn language from somebody who learned it as a second language rather than as their native language. For obvious reasons is I learned Japanese basically from nothing, right? And so I have experienced the same journey that you're trying to experience. You're trying to learn Japanese right now, or maybe you're thinking about it. Pretty much whatever you can imagine, I've experienced it in some way. And so that's where it becomes honestly fun for the both of us, because I get to relate to you. You have someone to relate to. Like, I can actually, sympathize with you because I've been there myself. Kanji, verb conjugations, just memorization, Anki, JLPT, whatever it is, those are the kind of things that I can really kind of come alongside you and be like, yeah, I know that is hard. That is really difficult. Wakaru, wakaru. And am I perfect in Japanese? No. Is anybody perfect in Japanese? No. I've met plenty of native Japanese speakers that make mistakes that I would never make. And I'm like, geez, how is that possible? And it's the same in English. It's the same in whatever, language that your native language. In English, you'll never know all the English words. And even if you know all the English words, you won't have a mastery of how to use them. So even if you're like a spelling bee champ and you memorize the English dictionary, it doesn't mean have a command of those words. And you can go into any professional field and you can talk about any subject, right? Because just knowing the words, just knowing the vocabulary doesn't actually get you anywhere. It doesn't make you better. And so that's kind of the I guess the key point that I want to express is that a lot of the times, not all Japanese teachers, okay? A lot of the times Japanese teachers, and I would say this for myself about teaching English, I just can't relate, when I'm teaching English. And so a lot of Japanese people, even if they're a teacher, they're just like, I don't know how to give you that answer. I don't know what to say. That's just the way it is. Now, sometimes that is just the answer. It's like, you just got to memorize it. But a lot of the times, look, I have a very different perspective of the Japanese language. I had to like break it down and analyze it. So a lot of the time, I'm here and I'm trying to help you learn that from a different perspective. And so, when you're kind of going about that in the way, when you're trying to learn Japanese, not oftentimes a Japanese native speaker is not going to be able to offer you the same type of advice. Well, they're definitely not going to be offering the same advice. It'll just be a different perspective, a different type of learning. And I mean, whatever we look at in society, like typically there's a mentor, right? There's a master and there's an apprentice. It's never somebody who just, I just grew up and I was naturally, a blacksmith, or I was naturally a glass blower. I don't know, like I never really thought about how to learn glass blowing. I never trained, but I just know it. I'm an artist. I never really, trained, but I just know it. Well, sometimes that happens. And those people I kind of call, those are prodigies, right? But oftentimes those people don't make good teachers because like, I didn't learn, I just did. And so that's where I think I kind of offer a different perspective. Because I did learn and I had a mentor. I had a mentor myself. An Australian guy really helped me get better at Japanese, and he really helped me kind of understand Japanese from a different, like, bigger perspective. So yeah, I would be bad at teaching programming because I just kind of did it without thinking about it. Yeah, and so like there are thanks Zenny for chatting. Yeah, feel free to offer me your opinions. Like maybe you guys have a different opinion. Maybe you've experienced something different. But for the most part, that's the way that I see the world. There, just like Zenny, you're saying, it's like you can be so good at something. Like, and I've met plenty of people who are just very good at something that they do, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a good teacher. And like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or something, but I love teaching. And I feel that I'm good at explaining and teaching things. Not perfect. I definitely have a lot of flaws. You can be so good at teaching, like you can be so good at programming, like you can be the best. We see this all the time in, universities, is at least in the US. You will like take a class and that guy or girl, like they're so smart. They're just like, they know their stuff, professor, but they are not a teaching professor. They are a, what is the word? They're like a dissertation professor. Like they just write their papers and they're like, this is the latest technology. Oh yeah, the music. So that's the thing is, it can be difficult to learn Japanese on your own. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to, stick alongside you, guide you in the right direction. I'm here to be your friend. Straight up. I think that's the thing that I really value with my students, and especially now that it's been like a couple years and a lot of my students have come over to Japan and some of them live here now, and it's like I can't wait to sign up for lessons. The more I see, the more excited I get now that I'm finally catching up on my car. Yeah, man, I'm excited to do lessons with you too. It's been like a back burner thing for years. I've been really loving that my students either come to Japan or they move to Japan, and I get to just hang out with them. When they're visiting, it's fun. It's like, I've had them over to my house for dinner. And that's very different. That's fun. And maybe we go out, have some breakfast, some coffee. And then one of my students has moved to Japan now and in Osaka, near to where I live. And honestly, it's been so great. Like I realized not only I have something very, one of the greatest things that I can offer is like being a friend in a foreign country that you've never lived in before. Not only a friend, but a friend who knows virtually everything about the country. Like obviously I don't know everything, but it's like all the really important stuff, the stuff that can be really stressful. So, if you ever thinking about deciding to take lessons, like not only is it nice if you ever maybe move here one day, but even if you don't move here, just when you come visit, like I always help my students like plan their trips. Like everybody is like, hey, where should I go? What do I do? Tickets, when do I buy plane tickets? Where can I get this? Where can I get that? Where should I go? And then of course when you get here, you know, we hang out and you know we can do that together. I'm gonna go grab some water real quick. ちょっと水取ってきます。で、戻ってきたらもうレッスンしましょう。After I get back in just a couple minutes, let's do our lesson. Sound good? I'll be right back. ちょっと待ってね。Hello, welcome to the stream. If you're just tuning in, my name is JD. I am your Japanese language mentor. I'm here to guide you in the right direction on your Japanese language learning journey. Sounds like such a sales pitch. And it kind of is. But yeah, I'm here to help you. And today we're going to be looking at just one little piece of grammar in Japanese. But actually, you're going to learn quite a bit of grammar through this. And we're going to do some practice, and we're going to try some other things. So, shi and dashi. So, this really probably won't mean anything to you right now. Is everybody ready? Minna junbi okay desu ka? Daijoubu? Ikeru? Are you guys ready? Before I just hop into it. So, shi and dashi. Okay? So, what are they in their basic, like, what is the definition, essentially? And I would say it's hard to define these kind of things, but I would say it's a particle used at the end at the end of a sentence or phrase to either list things or to express some form of discontent. It seems very different, right? So when should I use dashi and when should I use shi? I think that's like kind of the first question we have to have after we know what it means. Okay, great. But now, like, that doesn't actually necessarily help us too much. So when do I use them? Okay. First, unfortunately, we have to understand more things. We have to make sure that we understand grammar at a more basic level. It's not just like two types of things. It's the same thing. The only reason there's a da in front of it and why we have to list it like this is because it's like, hey, depending on the context, and I'll show you what that context is, it's going to change the way that we need to use it. So, when else do we use da sometimes, but sometimes not? When else do we do that? You see? We use it for dakara or kara, I'm sure, which is because, right? So, dakara blah blah blah, or blah 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 kara, right? Or it could be with to, like, まあ、それだといいけど、まあ、それとこれは、you know, it depends. It really depends. 食べるといいね. So it really depends on what's coming first. So だからからだとだけどけど. And I think there's probably a few more, but these are the main ones that I thought of. And so yeah, we still have more questions. Our questions are, how do I know when to use it, or when, or okay, great, but why is this happening? Why is there a dakara? Why is there kara? Like, why can't they just be the same? Why can't it both be dakara? Why can't it both be dashi? Okay. Anyone have any ideas? Do you know why? なんでそうなる? Why would it be dashi versus shi? Or why would it be dakara versus kara? To da or not to da? So that's like the really main question that we have. Like, should I do it or should I not? And it's honestly, if you pay attention here and you understand this, if you don't already know this, it connects. This applies to so many different areas of Japanese. If you start to understand this concept and the categories. So we have maru maru dakedo, maru maru kedo. What determines whether or not I should use it? It all depends on what kind of word is in maru maru. Maybe we can even think of some now. What would be before dakedo? What would be before kedo? Can you guys think of any examples? It's very obvious for Japanese people, of course. But this is actually probably, I'll say top 5, maybe even top 3, number 1 big mistakes that Japanese learners make when learning Japanese. So we're going to have a couple of different categories. So if it's maru maru da, if it's something da, we have 2 categories. We have nouns and na adjectives. But really, I put these into one category because otherwise it makes it sound like there's a bunch of stuff. So we'll just call this like category 1, group 1. So there's nouns and na adjectives. Okay, let's think of some nouns. What are 2 nouns? Let's write them together. 一緒に書きましょう. All right. 奇妙. いいですね. いいですね. What does 奇妙 mean? Bizarre, weird, strange? Yeah. These are difficult to perfectly translate because it really depends on context. But, so 奇妙, I would say it means eerie. 不思議. You chose 2 very similar ones. 不思議. Is 例文 a noun? Yeah, 例文 is a noun. We'll use that. 手紙. いいですね. So, just straight up, these are the things that we can put before da. So if we're wondering, what can I put before dakedo? This is it. So, 例文だけど, 例文だから. This is a good example sentence. 例文 is example sentence. 手紙 is letter, like a written letter. Yeah. And 奇妙 would be like eerie or weird or strange. 不思議 is like mysterious or miraculous. Or like you can't quite make sense of it. So we could say 例文だから or 例文だし, right? 手紙だし. Not that that's how we use it, but just so you can hear it with dashi. Right? 奇妙だし, 不思議だし. Okay? 不思議だけど, なんかすごく不思議だけど. And so our exceptions, these are the ones that I would have to just think of exceptions. It's a very like exception. This. Basically it's this guy no slash or no. Basically is no. Yes, the exception, Bridgewater. As far as I can really think, like for all of these examples, it's like the only thing that I feel like I should talk about because, well, in the end, you're still like, right. It's kind of like, even though this is an e adjective, which should just be kedo, it's in dakedo. So really it's this no that forces us to use da. So yes, essentially yes. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's when do we use dashi? Okay. Dashi. So that's when we use this one. All right. That's the basic grammar behind it. That's what you need to know. So next would be no da. When do we just use like kedo or just kara or just shi? Well, we have another category. Verbs and e adjectives. I also, lately, instead of e adjectives, I've been saying e endings. I think that might even be more gooder. Okay, so let's come up with some verbs and some e adjectives. Go. Aru. We'll start out with aru. Yeah, whatever. We'll do suru. But just definitely not taberu. It becomes a bad habit for everybody. For me too. I'm like, let's just do taberu. I'm like, I need new verbs. So to be slash exist, to do, we'll just say to do. All right. いいですね。じゃあ、いいの形容詞。How about いい adjectives? 次はいいの形容詞です。寒いと面白い。いいじゃん。寒い。 面白い。Usually it's not written in kanji, but we'll just do it to learn kanji. So samui means cold, like temperature cold, but not body cold. So you can't touch somebody. Like let's say you touch somebody or you touch a pole and it's like, oof, that's cold. Jeez, that's freezing. Or you touch ice and it's really cold. It's freezing. You can't say samui. What can you say? Do you guys know? Samui じゃなくて samu じゃなくて there's a different e adjective you need to use that also means cold that you would have to say. それは何でしょう？何でしょう？冷たい。はい。正解です。冷たい。冷たい。Very good, very good. That's right. 冷たい。I still mess that one up, not by knowledge, but by habit. Because I'm just like, cold, cold. In my mind, it's just cold is cold. But then, like, I'll, like, touch chiaki, like, I'll, you know, touch tsumetai. Yes, that's the kanji. That's the kanji. I'll, like, touch Chiaki's arm or something. I'll be like, ah, samu. I'm like, I mean, tsumetai. So I still mess that one up just by accident. And then the exceptions we have are the same. It's the same thing. The one exception here, I would say would probably be like, you basically completed a sentence. So like, ah, すごく綺麗。けど, sometimes people just do that. Like, even though technically if you're continuing and by saying but, you should say, だけど, but yeah, it doesn't have any real reason. It's just, that's how it happens sometimes. So, けど. The other one I'm thinking is like titles. I don't have any specific ones, but like, I don't know. This is like really random, but not a real example, but that's just what I would think of as like titles. いいですか？じゃあ次行きますよ。All right. So here's your, hopefully, I hope that you guys can hear this. So I'm going to turn off the sound, turn off the music. Here's some listening practice for you. You guys ready? いいですか？準備 OK? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a sip of water. まずはですね、聞いて、何言ってるかなって。そう、考えて、で、チャットで、打ってみる。So what we're first gonna do, you're gonna listen, and if you're Japanese, 日本人の方は、ちょっとだけ待ってください。正解を出すのに。めっちゃ日本語わかる人とか、日本人の方はちょっとだけ待ってね。みんなに失敗してほしいっていうか、苦労してほしい。何なのか。これで聞き取り練習はすごく、できるから、失敗を通して。So, what you're gonna do, you're gonna listen at what the Japanese, it's gonna be fast and it's gonna be short, okay? And so you're just gonna, don't worry about getting it wrong. Just like, type whatever you hear. Type whatever you hear. とりあえず聞いたことを打つ。Just type whatever you hear. It doesn't have to be right. It's better to be wrong. In this, for practicing. For practice, I was like, wait. It's better to be wrong for practice. So just give it a try. Give it a try. Here we go. You need to give a chance to right. We gotta struggle a little bit. So if you know it like 100%, もう 100% わかるとかだったら、もう maybe you should not do that. All right, here we go. Let me know if you can hear this, okay? Can you hear?
いい機会だし。
聞こえましたか? Can you hear that? Were you able to hear that? I really hope you were. Yes. 大丈夫やったかな? 聞こえるよ。あ、よかった。これだけ、それだけがすごい心配だった。会話せ。じゃあもう一回やるよ。We're gonna do it again. I'll do it like 3 times, okay?
いい機会だし。
Might be able to turn it up a little bit. Hold on. Yeah. あと、多分こっちでも大きくしたらいいかも。聞こえない。いい
機会だし。
まあ、聞こえてる人もいるから、多分こっちの問題じゃない。Since other people are able to hear it, it might be on your side. What do you got? What do you got? Did you figure it out?
いい機会だし。
Oops.
いい機会だし。
Alright. おー DK! 惜しい惜しい You're very close. You're very close. Alright, you guys want to see the answer? 正解見ますか? No idea what it means. 映像が動くはずか違います。写真だけです。動画じゃない。映像じゃない。It's just a screenshot. Just a screenshot. Good question. You'd think it would be a video. No, it's just a screenshot. スクリーンショット、スクショ。いい機会だし。That's what you should do. Japanese people should do. What English do you think this sounds like? Because that's pretty funny. Alright. じゃあ見ましょう。正解を見ましょう。はい、どうぞ。正解です。いい機会だし。いい機会だし。
いい機会だし。いい機会だし。
さて、どういう意味ですか？どういう意味なのか聞いてみましょう。Let's figure out, what does this mean? It's very simple, right? It's only really 3 things happening. So it should be simple. 知らんのんかい。知らんのかい。まあ、知らんでええやん。これから教えるやん。な。All right. So, first, E. What does E mean? E. You have to know this if you're learning Japanese. See, my sense was right. Yes. Your instincts were right. Good. Yes. E means good, fine, okay. Yes. So, kikai, this kikai, okay? This one with this meeting, これ会う. This is to meet. This one is just a crazy kanji. But this one is to meet. Should move it over just a little bit, but yeah. To meet. So this one, this kikai, kikai, this means a good badent. Very badent. Okay, bad. Good, not bad. Nice. So this one, E means good, fine, okay. Kikai means chance or opportunity. I always thought of it as opportunity first. Opportunity, chance. Oh, wrong kanji. No, I'm deleting it. Opportunity or chance. Okay? So, that is what that means. So, now we have to figure out ikikai dashi. So, remember how I said, let's see if we can go back to the definition. Let's go back to the definition. Soka. Is it here? Yeah. A particle used at the end of a sentence or phrase to list things. So it's either to list or express discontent. So based on that, is this a list or is this person upset about something? Does mite morao mean to let me see? Not in that form. And no. Let me see would be misete. Misete. Or misete kudasai, if that's more easy for you. Miseru. The verb is miseru. Show me. Let me see. I have a video on that. About the differences of all the mierus and stuff. It's like mieru versus miru versus etc. What would mite morao mean? I just heard someone say it. It's hard without context. You really don't, I can't even tell you, but it would probably be like, I'll have them / him look at it. It's impossible to know without more context. To have someone look at something would be the definition, maybe. So, ii kikai dashi. This dashi, or really, remember it's just dashi, shi, same category. This is a list. And I love to translate this as, well, plus, I forgot to do a translation thing for this one. Plus it'll be a good opportunity. So this here, it's kind of like plus. Right? When we do that in English, we're actually kind of listening. Well, plus there'll be more people there. Right? It's not even a full list. It's like part of a list, right? So maybe before this, she was listing other stuff like, oh, there'll be lots of people. It'll be good opportunity. There'll be a lot of people. There'll be a lot of food. Plus, it's a good opportunity. Plus, it'll be a good opportunity. Right. Sanchu, mite morao is not let someone see. That does not mean to let someone see. It was like showing someone a big beehive and said, もう見てもらってわかると思うんですけど、見てください. Yeah, so that would be like, if you take a look for me, it's like them doing it for you. If you take a look over here, like imagine a tour guide. If you take a look over here, you can see this statue. It's like, I'm trying to get you to look at something. Please look at something for me. If in English, you could say, if I could have you take a look. If I could have you take a look over here. Yeah. I can't watch the video right now, but maybe after the lesson. So, all right, here's the next one. We only have two more. Two more.
強い女なんて可愛くないし。
All right, here we go. Here we go. いいですか？
強い女なんて可愛くないし。
聞こえましたか？聞き取りましたか？ Did you get it? This one's a little bit harder. Oh, nice, Wembley. Straight. Can you heard it, so can you type the Japanese? できる？
強い女なんて可愛
Whoops.
くないし。強い女なんて可愛くないし。
可愛くないし。可愛くないし。ない。あ、惜しい、みんな。あ、there you go, there you go, there you go. そうそうそうそう。Very nice, very nice. 強い女なんて可愛くないし。So, who cares about what he's saying? Let's just learn Japanese. Right. And Wembley, you translate like a strong woman is not even cute. Yeah, I think that's a fine basic translation. And so this is the one that I was talking about. This is discontent. It's kind of both. That's why it's always, I try to, there's different meanings, but they're in the end, they kind of work the same. Is nashi and naishi the same? No. No. Naishi is the thing that we're learning about right now. Blah, 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 blah. Naishi. Naishi. So whether the discontent or a list, nashi is essentially nai. Just different usages, different timing. To your own na cow, it cool. This is nice. あ、もう文章めちゃくちゃで。To your own not a cow, it's a cool nice. めっちゃ面白いな、本当に。So how can we translate this? If I were to translate this, and translating is a very different skill. So please don't ever feel bad. Like, if you're trying to become a translator, start early. Like, really, like, if you, for example, Wembley, if you want to be a translator, like, a strong woman is not even cute. Go, like, you're like, if you want to be a translator, or whoever, you would want to go back at that sentence and be like, is this what we say in English? Is this a really natural English sentence? If I gave this to an American audience who didn't know anything about nante, yeah. If I that didn't know anything about Japanese, what would they do? So I would say there's a couple things you could do, like it isn't cute. There's a bunch of different ways we could go with this one. Isn't cute. Like, I might just translate it like this if I were. You have to think about them, okay? You try something, you think, you go back, but. I don't like aggressive girls. Maybe. I don't like aggressive girls. Maybe you could say like strong women aren't attractive / cute. So basically you have the general translation and is not with ain't. Yeah, sure. You could try. It's about like ain't. But you like for translation, this is all about translation, not Japanese necessarily. If I say ain't, does that match with his character? Because ain't to Americans kind of sounds like country. So sometimes I see translators, and I don't mind. I think with Kansai dialect, they'll use ain't to kind of, and some of that like southern stuff, to show that it's a different dialect. So I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just these are the things we got to consider when translating. Hello. Hey, Gio. Irashai. How's it going? Attempting to finalize a translation for a single sentence without more context is also a bad idea. Yes, that is probably the #1 piece of advice. You know, if it's like, you know, is she the strong girl? Is it her friend? Blah, 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 blah. You know, what is the definition of tsuyoi onna in this context? Is it somebody who is physically strong? She got big old muscles underneath them sleeves? Maybe. We don't know. I don't like physically strong women. It could be that. It could be that. So, yes. Exactly. We don't know. We need more context. All right.
強い女なんて可愛くないし。
So, 可愛くないし. So, again, this is a list, but at the same time, it could be not a list. Like, he could be like explaining something. He's like, she's like, 強い女、可愛いよ. And then he's like, 強い女なんて可愛くないし. Like, even though there was no list, he wasn't talking. She's like, 強いよ、可愛いよ、可愛くないし. That's actually a really common thing too. いい、よくないし。いい、よくないし。いいし、よくないし. People going back and forth, usually kids, or like kind of a kid fight. It's like, Yahana, Yahana, like that kind of thing. まあ、俺は天才だからね。Haha. All right, last one. Ready? From one of my favorite animes, actually. 準備いいですか？はい、いきますよ。
記者みたいし、渡すもんもあるし。
ちょっと低いな。Can I make it louder? Yeah. This one's the toughest.
記者みたいし、渡すもんもあるし。
I will give you the hint first. The first thing he's saying is kisa, and that's a person's name, okay? Otherwise, it's too hard. Kisa is a person's name. Does kai at the end of a sentence mean something or kind of give a kind of emotion to the phrase? In the anime Mushoku say a girl uses it a lot at the end of her phrases. I've never heard it before. There's two things that kai is used for. Maybe not just two, but in general too. Kai is like soft asking / old person asking. And then, oops, I wanted to make a, how do I do that? Oh, I can't do, gosh, that's annoying. Really? You can't do, that's a bummer. Whatever. And then the other one would be Kai for comedy / Kansai dialect. Which they go together. I think, yeah, I'll put those in two categories, but that's what they mean. Sokai? It's just a soft way of asking. Usually associated maybe with older people, maybe sometimes women, just gentle. All right, here we go.
記者みたいし、渡すもんもあるし。
Can you guys pick out anything? Anything. You don't have to even get close. Even if you're just saying she. I heard she, and then I heard she. Dash, she. That's all I heard. The goal is not to understand 100%. That's not the goal. Did I hear watashi mo aru shi? Ah, very close. Arashi. Very close, very close. That's good. And I guarantee you, if you listen to it a bunch more times, you'd get it.
記者みたいし、渡すもんもあるし。
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's saying his name. At the beginning, he's saying a girl's name.
記者みたいし、渡すもんもあるし。
これ難しい. I think this is the hard part. And then this, maybe here could be hard. So, 記者みたいし、渡すもんもあるし。渡すもんもあるし. So, もん, if you've never seen it like this before, this is もの。もの。渡すもんもあるし。渡すものもあるし。渡すもん。記者みたいし。渡しもの。惜しい惜しい。 前半分は俺でもマジで聞き取れない。まあ難しいよね。人の前かよ。知るかよ、その。先に言ったけどな。それを説明した。最初は人の名前だよって一応言った。英語だけどな。So, キサ見たいし。I wanna see Kisa and わかる？ Can you guys figure out what this, これは先にキサという女性のことを紹介しておいた方が良かったんじゃない？そうしました。そうしました。Alright. So, how would we translate this? How would we translate this? I've already come to the conclusion that I need a lot more listening practice. 聞き逃してたわ。ごめん。大丈夫、大丈夫。これレッスンでやってて、同じやつじゃないけど似てるやつ。で、それをやって、やっぱ名前わからんかったら結構難しいなって思って。まあそれで先に言った方がいいなって。Yeah, I think this is such a great exercise for listening practice. And I sent it to you guys already, but this website, immersion kit. What was it? .com. So this site, very excellent. Like you can practice listening so much here. But yeah. How would we translate this? I think we would translate this like, I want to see Kisa, and I want to see Kisa plus. Yeah, I think plus ends up being a very good translation. Give her something. This one I do know the context. I want to see Kisa plus I need to give her something. Watasu is to hand something to someone. Hand something over. Watasu. Okay. So that's how I would translate that. And just so you guys can see, you know, it doesn't always have to be like E form and like verb. They can split. Like it can be dashi and then it can be shi. It can also be dattashi. This is where usually this always slips under the cracks. It can be dattashi. It can also be desushi. Yeah. So, kawaii desu shi. Yeah. So that's also possible. Kawaii deshita shi. 昨日、今日でしたし、今日だったんで、今日だったし、今日でしたし。でしたし? I don't know if I've ever heard that, but that might also be possible. These are much more common, especially deshi. There's also something weird. Des toka. Yeah, that's something different. Never mind. So that's it. What's this link? That is a link to a site that you can do cool stuff here. I think this is more self-explanatory. I use this a lot. That's how I did these slides at the end. I got just a screenshot and a sound clip, sound bite. Yeah, it's really nice. どうですか? You feel like you have a better...
渡すもんもあるし。
渡すもんもあるし。Well, I hope... I hope that was helpful for you. It's been a while since I've done a lesson like that. I think it's good. There's good things for me, good things for you. If you have any more questions about this, check out the pinned comment up at the top. Join our Discord. It's like semi-active. It's tough. But yeah, it was great hanging out with you guys. 本当に一緒に日本語の勉強ができてよかった。また一緒に勉強しましょう。So let's study together. Let's learn. 勉強というか学びましょうね。Let's learn Japanese together another time. For any of you, if you're interested in getting better at Japanese, if maybe you're struggling or maybe you just want to speed up the process, I would love to teach you Japanese. Feel free to email me. I'll put it in the comments. It's in my the description and everything. Email me at languagementor.jp@gmail.com. Just say, hey, I'm interested in lessons. Or, I just need some help. We don't have to do necessarily like lessons. I do something called like Fix Your Japanese, where we just do like 1 or 2 lessons. It's just strictly focused on correcting your mistakes. So ask some specific questions, ask some, have some specific conversations that'll kind of draw out all of your mistakes, and that I can hear them. And then I could be like, okay, you need to work on this. And if you want to do that with me, you can. If you want to, go work on that on your own, you can do that too. So yeah, just reach out to me if you want to do lessons or if you just want some help. Free consultation, we can talk about your goals with Japanese. For my background, just, I've lived in Japan for almost a decade now. I've worked here the whole time, except 1 year I studied abroad. I majored in Japanese at a top university. And yeah, my whole life has just been about a lot about learning Japanese. And I just want to share the wisdom and all the tools and strategies that I've learned over the years with you. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. And for all you guys in chat, thank you for hanging out. You want to get a scholarship to study in Japan? I hope this class helps me if I can make it there. Yeah. I've already helped a lot of people come to Japan, whether to live here. JD さん、こんにちは。お久しぶりです。リーゼントさん、いらっしゃい。久しぶり。もうすぐ終わるんよ。ごめんね。今回の学びの会話だったけど、今度はまたプライベートでいろいろ喋ろうぜ。OK. What does Moonmoon Arshi? So thank you guys so much for joining. I'll see you maybe next Wednesday. For now, I'll plan next Wednesday, Japan time like this. I might try a different nighttime time in the future. A nighttime time? Nighttime Japan, morning US/North America. So, ちょっと授業があったから、今は来れたの。お疲れ様でした。ありがとう。別に。大丈夫。じゃあ、また。お疲れ様です。ありがとう。バイバイ。